this earthly body, this earthly vessel, is going into the grave. And the spirit man is going to leave, and you're going to go wherever you're going, depending on what you do and believe. So I know that when my spirit leaves my body, I'm going to go straight to heaven. And it's going to be gorgeous and wonderful then. I'm going to have my eternal body, and I'm going to be young and beautiful again. So why have it done while I'm still on earth? Well, I've got quite a couple of years still left on this earth. I want to make it up to 120. And I want to look good. I want to feel good.
Plastic surgery is like listening to Mozart. It's a higher quality of life that we can provide people with, provided it's done in the right way, of course, because plastic surgeons can also make a mockery of things. They can pull somebody's face so that it looks like there's an elastic band around their head. It can make somebody look like they're in a wind tunnel. That is not modern plastic surgery. Plastic surgery, as done these days, is a careful art of giving people natural, better looks.
Elaine Young, widow of Academy Award winner Gig Young, and now Hollywood's estate agent to the stars, was one of those unfortunate people to suffer under the hands of plastic surgeons who took it upon themselves to overdo her rejuvenation surgery.
It's a murder mystery.
Plastic surgeons must be very careful always to satisfy their patients' expectations. It is my duty to make you expect what you will get and not give you what you expect. It's a fine line of always looking at the psychological aspect and what is physically possible. Plastic surgery is not about changing, it's about changing enough. If just enough was done to make it work, that is really the recipe to success.
It is unfortunate for plastic surgeons and the public alike that cases like Elaine Young are picked up by the tabloids and the press and publicised as a "look what could happen to you" campaign. Tragic though it may be for the individual, the sensationalism is what sells it to the public, and in the end the net is not selective. The article colours the attitude of a normally conservative society. Suddenly an isolated incident becomes the terrifying norm, and for a man like Hennie Roos, who chooses to go public, a complication becomes malpractice. And when you're dealing with the human body, complications are par for the course.
One of the things that we have to deal with as plastic surgeons is complications that happen in our patients. I've had all the complications that happen. I remember one of my professors said to me, if you don't get complications in plastic surgery, you don't operate enough. And operations lead to complications because there are so many different aspects that we have to deal with: the technique of the operation, the sterility of the operation, but in the end, the patient. Working on a person is not like changing the spark plugs and tuning a carburetor. It's a biological being with its own set of rules. And what we do as plastic surgeons is to do a standard operation in standard circumstances, but that one issue, the patient's response, we cannot know. In the end, it's not about getting complications. It's how do we deal with them? Do we support our patients? Do we help them get through this? In other words, do we try and maintain the vision of a good result right through this process?
Complications aside, the question is, how does one cope with growing old gracefully?
Why not just get old gracefully? Yes, that is something that I've thought about a lot.
I hate getting older. I mean, don't we all? I mean, I think everyone's being very untruthful if they say, no, I love getting older. We come to terms with ourselves more the older we get, possibly, but from a youthful appearance, I don't know anybody that can answer that honestly and say, well, yes, I like watching my body getting older. I don't believe them when they say that. I can't believe them. It's nonsense.
I will definitely grow old gracefully. I've earned these lines from my children, and I think they're going to love them and respect them for what they are.
Two opposite sides of the coin. What is clear is that each individual has his or her own interpretation of what growing old gracefully is all about.
People do not think it's really worth it to grow old gracefully. Plastic surgeons have to fulfill the role of making people grow old gracefully. Growing old gracefully is about growing old liking yourself.
And liking yourself is about being happy with your self-image.
There's a lot of lines on my face that I would like to disappear, but I don't think I'll ever go for it.
I think I would have done it, because it's something that I feel, seriously enough about. So I think it depends on where you are in your life, how much something bothers you or not.
I think if I start to look tired and people start to tell me, why are you so tired all the time, I might consider it.
We all know this issue about wrinkles, smoker's lines around the lips. You cannot imagine how unhappy that can make a person. When you look in the mirror, all you see are these pleats on your lips. There is nothing growing old gracefully about that. So again, it comes back to the old issue of psychotherapy.
Plastic surgery is here to stay. In this day and age, with the pressures on society, it is becoming more and more of an option for a greater spectrum of the population. Controversial though he may be, Hennie Roos and others like him are here to drive the science of plastic surgery beyond its boundaries. They are here to develop new techniques for a society entrenched in the physical. If we are ever able to understand this man, then we should perhaps go back to where he started.
The images I have of my brother are probably better developed than the images I have of most people, but the question as to what my brother, or anybody else for that matter, really looks like has very seldom occupied my mind.
Something that has had a profound influence on my life has always been the life of my brother, living in a world where vision doesn't exist. For him, it's a matter of communication. And if he communicates with the person, that is his life with that person. We live in a world where appearance is everything.
I have never as much as attempted to construct a visual image of another human being. I don't think that I understand the concept of a visual image of another person at all.
The psychology of appearance gives me the reason to go back to the life of my brother as an earth, telling me time and again, it's not about appearance after all. It's really, there's a life beyond that. It's a source of great strength for me. For him, it's all about what is really there. And I wish I could live in that world.